It's election day here in Texas, and your vote will set the stage for a very crucial midterm election here in November. But there are a few big runoffs on today's ballot, including a big statewide race. Our Suzanne Bruner is live in Dallas County with what you need to know before you head to the polls. And what kind of activity have you actually seen out there so far this morning, Suzanne?
Well, Cleo, I can definitely tell you, can tell it is election day out here at our Redeemer Lutheran Church here in Dallas. We've seen voters walk in and out of those doors right behind me to cast their ballot. Roughly 300 voters so far coming in here. But this is the second election we've seen this month, and this is essentially going to decide the primary election races that were close for runoffs. Now, a couple of things that you need to know this time around. If you voted in the Republican primary in March, you will be able to vote for the party's nominee for Attorney General, and that's between incumbent Ken Paxton and Texas Land Commissioner George P. Bush. Also, if you voted on the Democrat ballot in March, the race to replace Congresswoman Eddie Bernice Johnson is the big one in North Texas. Johnson's been the Democratic nominee in every election since 1992, but her retirement means either Jasmine Crockett or Jane Hamilton will be the party's nominee to take the seat representing most of southern Dallas County. And take a look at this here. People in Tarrant County have been showing up to the polls all morning. This is a look at the unofficial turnout. As of a few minutes ago, there have been around 9,000 ballots cast, and about 42,000 people have voted early. Now, to learn more about the big races, to find the nearest polling location near you, as well as some other additional information about the elections today, you can head to our website. We have a whole guide there for you to keep you updated and prepared. That's at WFAA.com. Cleo.
Suzanne, thank you. 4 other states have primaries today as well, including Alabama, Arkansas, and Minnesota. But the nation will really be watching those results out of Georgia. It was a swing state in the presidential election and at the center of false claims of election fraud. ABC's Steve Osunsami reports that those claims have had a huge impact on the Peach State primaries.
Most of the action in Georgia's primary election is with the Republicans, and at the top of the ticket is current Governor Brian Kemp. He's leading the polls, despite being the one politician here who former President Donald Trump wants to remove the most. Trump's former vice president was in Georgia Monday night, taking sides with the governor.
I mean, I can honestly say I was for Brian Kemp before it was cool.
The election here is being seen as a test of just how important a voice Donald Trump still has in the Republican Party.
Brian Kemp is a turncoat. He's a coward.
The former president has endorsed and campaigned for former Senator David Perdue, calling Kemp a sellout for refusing to overturn the 2020 presidential election results in Georgia, where Joe Biden won.
We have to win. We want to win. And we have a governor that's done the worst job of any governor in probably decades on election integrity.
The winner will face Democrat Stacey Abrams in November. The Republican voters who say they still admire the former president told us that his wishes aren't everything.
I think there's a lot of misunderstanding about Republicans. Like, not all Republicans are...
Like, Trump doesn't represent most Republicans.
President Trump has also targeted Georgia's Secretary of State, incumbent Brad Raffensperger, who famously refused in this phone call to find the former president more votes.
Well, Mr. President, the challenge that you have is the data you have is wrong.
One of Raffensperger's opponents is Congressman Jody Hice, who voted against certifying the 2020 election results. The winner of that race could play a consequential role in the next presidential election here if Georgia comes down to the wire again. Congressman Hice is one of nearly 24 election deniers supported by Donald Trump who are running for Secretary of State in 18 places. And these are mostly positions about running elections. Here in Georgia, Herschel Walker, the football icon, is expected to win his Republican primary for U.S. Senate. That would mean he faces incumbent Raphael Warnock in the fall, which would pit 2 black men against each other for the U.S. Senate seat in Georgia. Steve Osunsami, ABC News, Atlanta.
And we'll be keeping a close eye on all of the primary races across the country today, especially the ones here at home. The best way for you to follow along is through our free WFAA app. We'll update you here on air and throughout the day as well.